So, welcome to the session. And let me tell you what this session is going to give you. What is the benefit of this session for you? Let's talk about the target. So, this is one yet another bonus session for you guys out of the syllabus topic, but important for your further journey, or which will be very helpful for you in your upcoming job scenarios. And this is something we are using regularly in the projects of Intellogic. It's helping us because you know very well that the biggest challenge in working on the complex real-time projects of Salesforce is to ensuring or to understanding that how we can be within the governor limit range. So you have lots of code, you have written lots of complex effects, all good. It's not sufficient. The important thing is, are you really being within the limit of governor limits set? Okay, that's important. So I have seen in the market many trainers many developers, experienced developers, and let's say kind of experienced guys, they do complex kind of programming, but after the certain time period, please note the program starts crashing, and you guys now going to, or you guys are going to have such kind of scenarios in your career, in your life, where you are going to have at a certain stage that programming is okay, doing programming, writing Apex class, writing trigger is okay, but how to work on this such kind of complex applications, and how to prepare the robust applications, how to work on the scale level, advanced level, or also ensuring that still our project is not breaking. That is what also I want you guys to understand. Now, this is what we are doing in our projects. You also learn this information and start using in your project. So that's why this bonus session is conducted for you guys. So in short, we are going to actually focus on learning on limits. So we know, for example, the limit of SOQL queries in one transaction is 100. Yes, that I know, or that you also know. But don't you think in the real-time project, how you will understand that right now we reached 90 queries or 80 queries or 20 queries? How? Fine, we know 100, but if you have the situation like this, you are having class 1, then you are having class 2, and then you are having class 3, and after that internally it's calling so many classes and class 59. Now, are you going to keep on counting? Okay, in this class 4 queries, this class 2 queries, this class 5 queries. Are you going to do this kind of things? This is not the practical solution. You need to know on the fly, in the runtime. You need to know how many queries done, how many DMS done. You should know on the fly. So that's the reason. Just keeping in the mind, 100 is the query limit, 150 is the DML limit is not enough, because you have to write this, or you want to get this information on the fly also. How you can give this, or what is the process for that? Let me tell you two scenarios for this. Scenario number 1, I'm going to show you a code that we often use in our projects, and by that code what we do, we take the benefit of the I would say the benefit of the facility which is given by Salesforce. Please note, we are not doing anything from our side. This is a facility which is already present in Salesforce, but people don't know that, or maybe their trainers don't teach them and they don't use it. So this is the facility. What we are going to use is, here there is a kind of a data called as org limit. Okay, it's a container of the data which is part of system class. Please note here, you know very well that there is a class called as system. This is the class, Apex class, which is called as system. This is the standard Apex class where we used in the past this standard Apex class. In which case you use this, where you use this? Yes, system.debug, etc. Correct. So that's the system class we have. In that system class, we are having the property, and that's called as org limit. Okay, so let me mention here also. So you know very well, in every class we have two things. Either we have functions, for example, system.debug, which we already saw many times in the past, and also we will have the which is nothing but the variables, which we also called as the properties, etc. So there is one variable, one property called as org limit, and that org limit is we are going to use in our upcoming projects. That is you are going to use. We are already using in interlogic these scenarios, and I just wanted to convey this information with you guys so that you can use this in your projects also, because it helps us a lot. Mostly people don't use that pattern, but I will recommend you use that pattern, because you are going to have scalable or large project also. So the org limit means system.org limit is the information which Salesforce will give you in the format of maps. Generally, we get it. Please note here, for that you have a function. If you want to fetch the data about your orgs and you want to save somewhere, you have a function called as getMap. Please note, in the org limit, we are having a function. So it's a container where you are having one more function, getMap, a kind of a container within the system class, you can say. And finally, you will get all the information about the limits right now in your org. For example, you can get the limits in your org where you can get the idea that how many, let's say, dashboards, early dashboards I can create more, or how many permission sets I have and how many I used, how many mass emails, which is also a facility available in Salesforce, and a single email also facility in Salesforce. I hope you guys saw the bonus video I gave you already on single email. So how many single emails you have right now and how many you used. This way it becomes so powerful option for us to understand on the fly how much we have, how much we use. Please note guys, it is a fantastic facility given by Salesforce to us. And for that purpose now, what options to use, what things to use, what activity to do, let me show you. So let me show you first of all the information about this in the format of code, and let me first of all explain you code and see what's going to happen. It's going to give you each and every information about your org limit. Okay, very powerful option. We are using this code, you use as it is code in your project also. Let me show you where is that code. Just give 1 minute. And just give 1 minute. Mm, Here you go. Fine. So let me now show you on the screen and understand what code we are going to use for this purpose. So this is the code and it's very useful. So please use this code, org limit checking code. Okay. Let me explain you this code first of all. This code is going to first of all call a function which is present in org limits container, or a kind of internal class, you can say, class within class, org limit dot getMap. In this case, this function will give you the information like a map, where in the map the format is string, and here the second part of the map, that is the key is string, and after that the value is org limits, 100 SQL queries, 150 DML, etc. How many you have done, that information you will be getting here. So this is line number 1. Now after that it will give you the system.debug to understand what exactly is coming out of that. So let me just show you only by copying this code and see what's going to happen. Copy this and let me now come back to this environment. Then I'm going to open the developer anonymous window, and this anonymous window, and I'm going to now show you paste and execute. And of course debug only and look at this information. Okay, let me now just copy this and let me show you here. So please note it is giving you the information in this format, which is, please note, a kind of raw format. But anyways, fine. That's the kind of information you have. And let me tell you here that creating map for getting current limit of Salesforce org. Okay. Next, in this case, here, please note that the output you are getting raw format output. It's difficult to comprehend that, difficult to understand that because it is not actually a proper information because it's a raw format. Anyways, I will also tell you how you can create a proper information. Nothing to worry because next point is that only. But please note that's in the format of kind of raw data. Okay, now here it will be giving you the information about the various limits. For example, if you are having some kind of, let's say, let me show you here. So you'll be getting the information like this. Let me just break it down. You'll be getting, let's say, for example, concurrent async report. How much is the data? In that, you are getting this kind of information. Or let's say, for example, you are using Einstein Discovery tool in your Salesforce environment, then the limit for that. So mostly this is not so unclear, easy to understand limit, but fine. This is what the data you will get. Instead of that, you do one thing, follow the process. Use below, use below code to generate meaningful, easy to comprehend data. Go for this scenario where you are going to create a for loop where you are getting the key sets, all the keys from the where or limit map. You guys know what is the meaning of keys. Already we discussed about this in the past. Now, in this case, you can do one thing. Before you proceed ahead, you can here before you proceed ahead. So please note, first of all, you can do one thing, convert and get all the keys from this map. Take all the keys. Okay. Next. Now, for just understanding purpose here, please note that from this org limit, whatever keys you are getting now, here all the keys are there. Please note, you will be getting, so you can just pass these keys in the map and get the information about the org limit. Now, this is the process where you are, look at the, focus on line number 14 only. In this, you are actually passing only the keys, and by passing the keys, you are getting one variable of type one data of type system.org limit, which will contain all the org limit information. And that variable, let me write here, for example, var org limit, for example, like this, var org limit, and here we go. So now what will happen? Understand this. First of all, in this process, what I'm doing is I'm going to now create a key set and I'm going to store it in a variable that is clear. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually want to just see the limit name, whatever names are there of the limit, I want to print it. So that's available in org limit name, which is nothing but your key set. It will be going to show you all the names of limits like report limit or query limit or DML limit, etc. And now how much limits we guys used, that you can get here. How much limit is available, that you guys can get here, and that's all. This way you can easily form a structure and get the information about this step by step. Let me do one thing. Now let me run the entire code and show you how it's going to work. Copy the entire code and see now the output. And in fact, this output is already seen by us. So raw output we can skip. We can go with this properly refined output. So let me copy as of now everything, and let me come to the developer console, remove this, and close all the results in the past and paste it. From that, I will do one thing. I will remove this because it's a raw format. It's not so user friendly. Leave it and go for this user friendly format. In that also, let me first of all do one thing. Let me just show you here by commenting this much. Let's focus on first of all getting this information, var org limit, whatever you're getting in this var org limit. Okay, and also do one thing. Let's print this value also. Let me cut this and only print the first system.debug. Okay, let's print only first system.debug, and let me show you what org limit you are getting by the name execute, and see here's what's going to happen. And just 1 minute here. Let me give star first and this latter, first star and this latter execute. Now after this, what you are going to do is click on debug only, click on debug only, and please note here that one more important thing you need to understand that now one more thing you need to understand here is, please note, if I'm going to click on system.debug or query editor, see what's going to happen here. First of all, here, look at the limit name. This way, you will get the idea what all the limits are present in Salesforce available for you. Please note, very important information. It will give you all the names by which it will also get the idea what all the things are happening in Salesforce. Every information is here. These are all the limits supported. Just look at this limit name, hourly sync report run, daily API request, permissions rate limit, or if you are using Einstein, that limit, single email limit, hourly sync report, etc. You can see various information is given here. This is nothing but just the name of the limits you are having. Okay. So let me go back to your code, and now let me tell you what you understood. So now I hope you understood that how this line gave you or gives information about names of all limits provided by this code. Okay, but the thing is that now you will be getting here this line. Okay, you will be getting this line. Okay, and print it. So you'll get the information about all the names of limits available for this. Okay, now next. But we need to understand not only name, but we need to see how many limits used. For example, there is a permission set limit, and you have some limitations to permission set. If you remember the previous sessions where we discussed in the class, 1000 permission sets you can create in Salesforce org. So now on the fly, I want to quickly check. I cannot see and keep on checking in my Salesforce environment and spend time. I want immediately do one thing here from this var org limit, which is going to give you the information. Please note from the var org limit, you can go for the detailings and understand the value of the limit. So let me just do that also. So first of all, cut this and print this line will print information about names of all limits provided by this code. And next, this is now, let me talk about this var org limit also. This provides data of used as well as remaining limits. Okay. By the way, these are all the standard things. Everything already present in Salesforce. Every entity is standard. You have to create nothing for this. Just you have to use this code and that's all. Okay. Next line. This line gives the used limits from limits in org. And after that, this line gives, this is used limit, and next is used, okay? And available limits. That's all. So this line will tell you that how much information, how much entity is available. Okay, let me show you. For example, see here. Now let me copy this code again. Let me copy this code again, and let me go to the developer console, and I'm going to open debug statement, or let's say I'm going to open the anonymous window, and I will do one thing. As of now, I will just comment this line. I will just comment this last line. I don't want this, okay? And also I'm going to comment this line. I don't want also raw data. Comment this. And yeah, fine. So now only it will show you the limit name and limit used. Okay. Let us see what's going to happen. Execute. And now you can click on system.debug also and see. Please note in your code, time-based workflow rule or daily workflow rules used today. No, I did not write any workflow email today. It's coming zero. Any platform event I created today is a kind of coding mechanism, and by which you can create an event in Salesforce. Did I did anything today? No, nothing I did. So you can see here that this way you can get all the information about what all the things are done today. Did I send any mass email? No, I did not send anything. So this way you can see here the limit is coming. The limit used is coming zero, means number of items I used is zero. And now I'm going to show you how much limit available. So let me now undo last or comment, and now let me run the code again. How much limit I'm having. And for example, let's say the known thing for you, something familiar with you, let's say for example, single email. So single email, I have 15 limit, I have used zero. Okay, I have used zero. Apart from that, let's say permission sets. Total limit I'm having 1000, but in my environment, around 21 permission sets I already used. So this way, this information is going to be giving you so much useful data. Please note, we are using this regularly in the production environment while working in the complex projects, when we are finding difficulty, when something is breaking, to check immediately what's the problem. There is issue coming in server, there is issue coming in deployment or anywhere or sandbox. Immediately go to that environment, run this code and see what is the status. Please note guys, it will help you as well in your projects. So this code I'm going to send you. Use this code whenever you have any kind of plans like this, and according to that, take the benefit of this information which we guys are using in our project. And apart from that, I would like to also tell you that in Salesforce, there is one more important thing you need to understand, that in Salesforce, the by default feature in Salesforce is also called as, or like I would say, the individual queries also available in Salesforce. Means you can also use individual queries and take the benefit of all these limitations, or you can get the idea about all these limitations, and that individual query also we sometimes use. Now, I would like to also show you the information about the individual queries which we guys use as a part of second scenario, that is as a part of second thing in this process, because sometimes we don't write this for loop and etc. We sometimes write just a system.debug. We don't want everything. Please note, we don't want everything. We just want some limited information. At that time, we do this kind of scenario which I'm going to show you right now. So pay attention. What we do right now, I'm going to show you with the limited scenarios only we did this. And um, here we go. So please note, we also use this kind of code. Now this kind of code we use where we want a specific line, specific information, then we use these lines of code. So please note, I'm going to also share with you these queries or these codes You can also use this whenever you want. For example, let me copy everything and let me show you what benefit we are getting of using this information in our project. So for example, let me come here, remove entire code and paste it. See what's going to happen. Very useful. Again, we are using this in many locations in our projects to understand how many queries are available, or how many callouts you can do for integration, or how many DML, etc. Everything. Okay. Execute. See what's going to happen. This way also you can write a single direct debug statement than writing the entire for loop, and the way we did in the previous example like this. See, instead of this, instead of this, writing a for loop and getting all the information, then one by one write the for loop and then get one item for that, and then find out where is your limit, where you are interested right now. Instead of this, you can directly write this single line. For example, when you are interested to understand how much CPU time left, directly use this line. That's it. Just one line is enough for you. Why you're creating for loop and processing and all these things, and then finding out the things from that for loop? No, directly copy this row. Okay, this also pattern you can follow, depends on you. I'm giving you all the information. You do whatever is comfortable for you and debug only. And look at this. So here, please note, it is showing you all the information available in terms of queries, SQL queries, how much things are available for you. Please note how much balance you're having. This will be the information by this. Okay. So let me write some kind of information about this at the beginning of your notes, so that when you are going to use this or see this tomorrow, day after tomorrow, after 1 month, it will help you. So please note, using limit class with single function. Now please note here, instead of the previous example or previous pattern, you can directly use limit class. Limits is a class where it will give you all the information automatically ready made. You just need to call a single function like this. Okay. So please note here, useful when we are not interested in entire org limit. We are not interested in checking all these limits. We are only interested in some limited things. Useful when on the fly during the code execution. So on the fly during the code execution, you want to know how much DML, queries, etc. left. So on that basis, you can take further decision. So for example, I want to see how many, let's say it's my complex code, and every time some errors are coming, and I want to just on the fly check how many DMLs are left. Immediately call the function from limits class, check how much DML left. If DML is less than 150, continue. If DML is more than 150 or equal to 150, stop the process. Like this also we have taken the decisions in the previous projects. Again, very useful code. It will give you fantastic information, and based on that you can take further decision. Please note this point. Okay. So this is how actually we do the things. For example, let me tell you one small information to you. And see here. So what we can do is this DML. So for example, look at this. Now this function we used, to see whether out of 150 how many DMLs are done. This function will give you that. What do you guys do in the project? If, so let's say for example, we are having some code, and here after that we are having this function. What we do, suppose we some code and with DML, okay, and with DML and with DML. Okay. After that, here if condition. So let's say for example, optional code which also has DML. Okay. Now suppose I want to proceed, but I have some conditions to check. What I will do, I will write if condition. If this less than 150, then you call this code. This is how we do in the real-time project. And this way, this code is going to be called only if we have some free DMLs present. And this is how we get rid of governor limits, which can occur in some very complex scenarios where hundreds of classes are there and back to back 20, 30 classes are being called. It's becoming very difficult to track the errors. We simply write this message if condition. If this is below 150, then only come down. Again, after some time, again, we are having some code, some normal code, by the way, some code, some normal code, some normal code we are having. Again, after some time, we have some optional code with one DML. Again, check. Fine. Right now, what is the situation? Again, less than 150, fine. Then only call. So this is how we follow the pattern. And you can also use the same style because I'm telling you all these things from my experience of our projects. And you can use this technique. And this way, you can take the benefit of your knowledge in your office or in your project. Okay. So these are not the things like kind of syllabus thing, or this is something not trained in the classes or in the market by any trainer. This is something coming from the projects and experiences. So please use that information and according to that take the benefit of this information. Okay. So that's all with the bonus session that we have planned today.